Welcome to the Meditation Nest, Bedtime Stories for Adults. I'm Beth Buttram, your host and narrator. Here, stories become gentle meditations, designed to help your thoughts unwind as you slow the tempo of your life and embrace the night ahead. I invite you to slow your breath, soften your thoughts, and find peace as you drift into rest. This is your time to rest, reflect, and dream. Tonight, I have a story for you that moves gently, like the turning of the earth itself. Some stories are not about one great moment, but about the quiet unfolding that happens when we stop insisting life should look the same in every season. This is a story about cycles, about how nature never rushes, and yet nothing is ever wasted, about how even stillness carries its own kind of growth. Tonight's story is called Keeper of Seasons. So, let your breath soften. Let your shoulders rest. And as we begin, allow yourself to feel the slow rhythm of the world holding you. I have always been someone who notices when the air changes. This little corner of the world, surrounded by rolling hills and a wide meadow that turns gold in late September, rarely makes its way onto postcards. I love the way the morning light shifts slightly cooler in late summer, the way the breeze begins to carry the faintest edge of wood smoke before autumn even arrives, the way the silence of winter is not empty but listening. And I tend to remark upon many of these uniquely beautiful observations to anyone with whom I interact. I suppose that is why, in my village, people began to call me what they did, the Keeper of Seasons. It was never a title I chose. It was something that simply settled onto me over time, like snowfall on a familiar path. I live on the edge of this small town. I consider it to be a place where the world still moves slowly enough to be felt. In spring, the river swells with melted frost. In summer, the evenings hum with crickets and laughter drifting through open windows. In autumn, the trees let go in their own patient way. And in winter, in winter, the village becomes quiet, as though the whole world has pulled up a blanket to its chin. I have lived here for as long as I can remember. And every year, without fail, the seasons arrive like old friends. Some are loud and bright. Some are hushed and pale. All of them are necessary. When I was younger, I didn't understand this. I thought life was meant to feel like spring all the time, like beginnings, like momentum. I craved constant blooming, continual certainty, unending light. And when things slowed, when days felt muted, when joy felt distant, when I entered a season of waiting, I assumed something was wrong. I felt I was doing something wrong. But nature has never believed in urgency. Nature doesn't apologize for winter. It doesn't rush through dusk to get to morning. It simply turns, and it teaches. There is a small cottage where I live, just beyond the northern edge of the village. Behind it, there is a garden. It isn't impressive in the way some gardens are. It's not perfectly arranged. It's not even symmetrical. It's simply alive. Wild thyme grows wherever it pleases. Lavender leans into the sun. In autumn, fallen leaves gather in corners like quiet letters. And at the corner of it all is a single tree. An old maple, wide and steady, whose branches have held every version of the sky. I often sit under it, just to be with the turning world. It was beneath this tree that I first began to understand what it means to keep the seasons. It started one year when winter arrived early. The first snow fell before the last leaves had even finished letting go. The village seemed surprised, as if winter had come without knocking. People hurried to cover their gardens, to stack firewood, to complain gently about the cold. But I remember standing outside in the hush of that first snowfall, feeling something settle inside me. It wasn't a feeling of dread or sadness. It was something softer, something like reverence. The snow didn't feel like an ending. It felt like a pause. And I realized, standing there with flakes catching my hair, that the world was not becoming empty. It was becoming still. There's a difference. Stillness isn't absence. Stillness is space. That winter, I began to notice how much life continues beneath what appears dormant. The roots of the maple tree didn't stop simply because its branches were bare. The earth did not forget to grow. It was simply gathering, holding, resting. And I wondered quietly if perhaps people were meant to do the same. In the village, there is a small shop run by an elderly woman named Cora. She sells jars of honey, bundles of dried herbs, wool socks that smell faintly of cedar. Cora has lived through more winters than anyone can count. And one evening, as I stepped inside to escape the cold, she looked up from the counter and smiled. "You're listening again," she said. I blinked. "Listening?" "To the season," she replied, as though it were the most obvious thing in the world. I laughed softly. "Is it that noticeable?" Cora shrugged. "Most people hear only noise, but you hear rhythm." She wrapped the honey in paper, slow and careful. Then she said, "Winter teaches something most people don't want to learn." I tilted my head. "What's that?" "That growth doesn't always look like movement." Her words stayed with me long after I returned home. That night, I sat by my window and watched the snow fall in silence. And for the first time, I didn't wish it away. Spring arrived the way it always does. Not suddenly, not all at once, but through small permissions. The first drip of thaw from the roof. The first brave crocus pushing through cold soil. The first morning when the air smells faintly of possibility. I used to think spring was proof that winter had been survived. But now I understand something different. Spring is not an escape. It's a continuation. Winter was not a mistake. It was part of the story. That year, I began keeping a small notebook, not of tasks, not of plans, but of seasons. I wrote down the day the geese returned, the day the river began to sing louder, the day the maple tree unfurled its first leaf like a quiet promise. I began to see the world not as a straight line, but as a circle, always returning, always renewing. Summer came with its usual warmth. The village grew louder again. Children ran barefoot. Markets spilled with peaches and flowers. Evenings stretched long and golden, as though time itself was resting. And yet, even in summer, I noticed the truth of cycles. How the brightest days still lean toward dusk, how abundance still carries the seed of change. Nothing stays, but nothing is lost. One afternoon, a traveler arrived. It happens sometimes, someone passing through, drawn by the quiet of our town. She sat beside me under the maple tree, her bag dusty from roads. "I don't know where I'm going," she admitted suddenly. I looked at her, surprised by her honesty. "That's all right," I said gently. She frowned. "It doesn't feel all right." I understood, so I pointed upward. "Do you see that tree?" She nodded. "It has been through every season," I said, "and yet it does not panic when autumn comes." The traveler laughed faintly. "Trees don't have choices." "No," I agreed, "but they do have trust." She was quiet. Then she asked, "How do you do that? Trust the turning." I thought for a moment. Then I replied, "I remind myself that I have lived through many seasons already, and each one has taught me something I couldn't have learned in another." The traveler exhaled as though something inside her loosened. We sat in silence after that, the kind that feels like easy company. Autumn returned, as it always does. The air sharpened. The light softened. Leaves turned into fire. And once again, the world began letting go, not with grief, but with grace. I walked through the meadow one evening, watching leaves spiral downward, and I realized that nature never clings. It participates. It releases because it trusts return. By the time winter came again, I was no longer afraid of it. I lit candles. I made tea. I listened to the hush, and I understood something simple. Every season carries its own form of growth. Spring grows outward. Summer grows bright. Autumn grows wise. Winter grows deep. Even stillness is becoming. As the night deepened, a gentle breeze whispered through the window, carrying with it the scent of leaves and earth. I let my thoughts settle, feeling the slow pulse of the world around me. In this quiet hour, I sensed the promise held within the pause, an invitation to embrace the stillness, to honor the quiet work the soul does when the world sleeps. Outside, the tree stood silhouetted against the moon, its branches bare yet beautiful, reaching skyward without hesitation. I realized that, like the tree, I am part of a larger rhythm, one that only asks for patience and presence. Each season may look different, but everyone is needed. Each a step in the ongoing journey of becoming. The end. And so, tonight, if you find yourself in a season that feels quiet, if life feels slower than you expected, if you are waiting, resting, gathering, please remember, the earth does this too. Nothing is wasted, not the pause, not the hush, not the in-between. You are not behind. You are simply turning. And just like the seasons, you will return to bloom again in your own time. For now, let yourself rest. Let yourself be held by the rhythm of the world. As you ready yourself for sleep tonight, remind yourself, growth is not always loud or visible. Sometimes it happens in silence, beneath the surface, where roots strengthen and dreams prepare to bloom. Tomorrow the turning will continue. Greet it with gratitude, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. Good night. As this episode comes to a gentle close and the world outside grows quiet, may you find comfort within your own meditation nest. Let your mind settle softly. May tranquility wrap around you, inviting deep rest and serene dreams until dawn. If you'd like to help keep the meditation nest aglow, please consider buying me a cup of coffee by visiting ko-fi.com/BethPodcast. Every small kindness helps the light travel a little further. You can also access a free weekly blog on substack.com. Check the show notes for links. Until we meet again, rest in the quiet knowing that you are safely held by the night.